Okay, welcome to the Petrophysics lab. So today we're running the porosity experiment. Try to measure the porosity using the Porosimeter, which using the equipment of Porg 200, where we use helium to measure the porosity of any core sample. So this equipment, here's the equipment, and we have different rock samples. And today we'll run one of these rock samples. So the very first step in this experiment is to measure the diameter and the length of your core sample. So we use our caliper and we measure the diameter, get the diameter, then we get the length. We record them in our data sheet. Next step is we need to connect our equipment to electricity. Okay, once you connect it, we make sure the regulator is open. So anti-clockwise all the way, and that's set on off and vent. V2 is set at vent, which is the top, and valve 1 is at off. Right now, we go to make sure that we get the helium connected and open. So we have the gas helium here. The first step is make sure this is also anti-clockwise, open all the way, which is the regulator. Here we have the main valve, and here we have the secondary valve. So this is closed, and we remove this to be closed as well. So the next step is to open the main valve. Once we open the main valve, that gauge will tell us how much gas we have in the cylinder. This one tells us how much passes through the regulator, which is how much is transferred through the equipment. So we want to have about 90 psi G in this experiment. So we'll rotate this right. Okay, we'll rotate this until we get into the 90. So we had a pressure in the gauge from before. So to release it and know exactly how much gas we have, I'm gonna open this and go back to the equipment right here. And I will release the pressure by putting that valve into on and that vent into expand. Right? Then move this regulator to allow the gas to pass through. So now we drain the system from any gas. So I'll do the regulator again, back counterclockwise. Put this into off and this one into vent. Now when I go back to check that valve after the regulator right here, I'll see it went back to 0. Right? So then I'll make sure that main valve is open for the cylinder, right? And then this is closed. And then I'll start to rotate this clockwise. Once you rotate it, you see the pressure going to your system is increasing. I will do it up to 90 or 100. So I have the mark here between 80 and 20 is 100. So I will stop at 100. So now I have 100 psi supporting my system going through the pipe. So what I need to do now is to open this. So this is open, this is set at 100, this is open. That means I have helium connected to my experiment. So I'll get here. Next step is to prepare the sample to run. Excuse me. Now, we get the core sample, and when we put the core sample in the container right here, we get so much void space. So if we continue our experiment like this, we'll have all this void space, extra void space counted to be porosity or pore volume. To avoid this, we use these steel test discs. So we want to find the best mix of these discs that will fill up this space to the top. So I'll start with a big one, then I'll put the second smallest one, followed by the smallest one. Oh, that's not enough. I need more. I'm gonna put this is more. So I need to try another sequence. And I keep trying different ones until I find the best. So I'll go with the biggest one, followed by the second biggest. So that's good, right? So the first thing I'll do, I'll go to my equation sheet and I type in that I used these discs. So I have disc 4 and I have disc 5. Those are the two. And then I take out my core sample as well. And disc 5, right? Now for the experiment to run, the gas has to go through the sample. So if I keep the rock sample underneath the steel, the gas will not make it there. So what I need to do is I put the steel first. Here's the first one, the second one, then I put this one on the top, make sure it is lined up, and then I locate it inside here. So locate it in the middle. I tighten this up, go all the way until it hits the middle here. That means I don't have any leaks and the gas go through the sample. Second thing, make sure this valve is open. Now my system is ready, so I go to the experiment. So the first thing is that we need to raise the pressure here to 90. So I rotate it, the pressure, and I get it to 90. 60, 70, 80, and 90. So if you're doing it and you notice that the pressure is not making up to 90, you need to go back to the cylinder and make sure you have enough gas and all your valves are open. So I have 90 now. So what I do, the first step is I open valve 1 to on to load the system with the pressure. So what happens here is the pressure, the inlet pressure, go through our reference chamber inside there. And then I wait until the pressure stabilizes. Around 90 it should stabilize. And once it hits around 90, I'm going to close the first valve. So now the first valve is closed, which means the inlet gas is not connected to the reference anymore. So inside the reference volume, I have reference chamber, I have 90 psi. Now once I open the vent, the pressure will, the valve will open and connect the reference chamber in there and the outer chamber here, which has my sample. So I write that the initial pressure is 90. I record it on my system and my data sheet, and then I put this from vent to expand. Once I put it in the expand, I wait until it stabilizes. The pressure stabilizes around 32, so I'm going to type down the pressure to 32. All right, PSI. Once I've done this, my experiment is done, so I move this back to vent, and I open the sample, take it out, release the pressure from the regulator. You see the gauge is going down all the way to 0, right? And then I keep the sample, that setup as is, and I go close my cylinder. So I close the cylinder here, close, and I keep this set up for the 100. So the next time I need to run the experiment, it's ready to go. And once I do this, I need to deplete all the gas in the pipes, then make it to this equipment. So I'll come back here and I'll put this to on, and I keep this to vent, and I'll close the regulator to release all the gases. So now it's loading. Put this to expand, all the gas comes out from here, and now it's clear. So then I open the regulator and anti-clockwise to close or prevent any gas from getting in. Then I put this to vent, this is to off. My experiment is finished, and I take out the electricity outlet. And if I need to do multiple experiments, I have to repeat the same exact steps. So for each sample, the right approach is you do the measurements 3 times, not just 1 time. So all these steps that we did, which is connecting the regulator to 90, open valve 1, then valve 2, expand. This you need to do 3 times for each sample to make sure that you're avoiding any engineering error or any equipment error. That's the experiment for the Porg 100. You run the experiments and let me know if you have any question.